John Franklin stopping by. John,
EJ.
what exit?
Wow. I did not expect a what exit question to come up.
What exit, bro?
Oh my God. Well, technically speaking, I'm the exit that goes off to I-80, so 165. So I don't have a direct
Not
exit off
off
the
the parkway,
parkway.
off the turnpike.
Off the turnpike.
Yeah.
Wow, I'm used to the off the parkway question. Caldwell doesn't have one. Hoboken is 13, so we'll take it.
13. See, I
So
am
11,
no,
11,
no, no,
11.
no. I am from exit 13. That's Elizabeth and the
Yeah.
Coast Bridge. And then I moved to exit 12. But it's such a pleasure to have you up here. I'm glad that
No,
somebody gets the references to what exit.
dude, I gotta tell you, so excited to do this. Hearing it, what exit is a question, dude? Oh my God, so you're from Elizabeth? No
I
way.
am. I sure am. And now I'm out here in LA.
Oh, it's awesome. So radio career brought you to LA, but you're a Jersey guy through and through.
Jersey guy at heart. It's all about
Come
Taylor Ham,
on.
bro. Taylor Ham. Taylor Ham.
Okay, good. Even better. You call it Taylor Ham. So you're with me. I love that.
Absolutely, because there is no such thing as pork roll. What in the hell is a pork roll?
It's not real. It's garbage made up by South Jersey people and Philadelphia Eagles fans. That's the fact. That's what it's all about.
That's what I'm talking about, John. Tell me all the things. What's happening with you? Break it down.
Dude, so much. Thank you for asking. I got to figure out exactly what exit Hoboken is now on the turnpike. But the real thing that's going on with me is I just dropped a comedy special out on Amazon Prime called The
Right.
Specialist. That's the big thing. So we're working on that. We're working on getting our podcast on a related note. This is the new big thing on a network. So we're kind of shopping around, trying to find where that's going to go. We're working on writing a one-man show. Just got back from Edinburgh Fringe Festival in September. Just like a lot going on in the space of performing and comedy, but it's all good stuff and it's really exciting.
John, let's talk about the special, the comedy special that's on Prime Video and YouTube, The Specialist. How did that come about?
Dude, a lot of hard work. So first was actually getting up and doing a lot of comedy over the last couple of years, and just decided one day, Joe Coy is a big like inspiration of mine. I love Joe Coy. I think he's a super, super funny dude, just brilliant. And there's a story about him, like I just being like, I want to put on a big show and I'm gonna get people to go. I'm gonna go door to door, and this is gonna be my make it moment because I'm sick and tired of all the gigging around clubs and doing everything everybody tells me I have to do. And I was like, I'm doing the same thing. So I decided I'm going to film a special in Asbury Park, January last year, the day after my birthday. And we're going to make it into a big thing and see what happens. And, we sold the entire thing. It was 135 seats, got 135 tickets sold in Asbury Park, New Jersey. And we got the whole thing filmed, went out on YouTube to start and lit some fires. Now it's on Amazon Prime. So it's been a long time coming and just really exciting stuff,
How does that even come into fruition? Like, how do you even get ready for something like that? Because I know that you're probably in and out of clubs, trying material and things like that, right?
Yeah, no doubt. So it's a lot of the grind, getting in and out, trying to get as much time as you can. Sometimes doing shows like I did a show, you'll know what I'm talking about here. I did a show in Newark in the basement of a pizzeria leading up to this special, and it was literally like my friend was running the show and she was like, "Do you want to do 30 minutes to prepare for your 45-minute like your hour thing?" And I was like, yes. And I did it in front of 7 people in the basement of a pizzeria. So like comedy is just like such a grind. And in the city, like in New York City, you're not going to get like more than 15-20 minutes, even if you're headlining. So to prep for this, it was like whatever time I could get, wherever I could get it, like Rocky Balboa in the, like just beating like the stakes in the back. You know what I mean? Like just trying to figure it out. So that was really it.
Well, what's interesting. First of all, I feel like that is hella intimidating being in some random basement in Newark as it is, staring people. You know what I'm saying? It's 7 people, so it's an intimate crowd, and those people are staring into your soul.
No doubt.
That gets to you a little bit.
It does, but at the same time, like any crowd is a good crowd. Like any
Right.
crowd is a chance to get better, And like New Jersey people, this. Like we are a special breed.
Yes.
And like they know when one of us is really like on the up and we're doing our thing and like we're excelling and trying to succeed, they are the first to back us at the same time. So those 7 people were like dude, this is so exciting that we get to see this before anybody else sees it. And I actually had one of those people DM me on Instagram that they watched it on Prime and they were like, it was so good. We loved it. So it was really, really cool to have that one come full circle.
Do you tweak things like from those small shows to actually filming the big special? Are things tweaked in the process?
Oh, totally. There are times where a bit in my head is the funniest thing I've ever written. And then you get in front of a crowd and it falls flatter than you'd imagine. And it's just like, it's not even bombing. It's like one word changes it and it suddenly becomes as hilarious as you wanted it to be, or like an inflection or like a facial expression. And you realize like, as you do it more and more and more, it becomes muscle memory. And you realize like what the parts that people are going to laugh at are. And you become like just engulfed in it. But I don't think I've written a bit that I performed the first time and is the same as I performed it when we filmed the special. Like
Mm.
everything changes because you have to be able to edit yourself. If you think you are funny and great right off the rip, I don't think you're ever going to succeed. Like the best part about success is like the editing and making yourself get better, you know?
Right. I was about to say, like, you probably get more comfortable with telling the joke too.
Yeah, and especially like a lot of my style is storytelling. So to me, a lot of these stories have been around for a long time. So I think the story is funny.
Mhm.
But you know, like for example, you and I just met tonight. And if I told you a story about my family, you don't know the cast of characters. Like there are parts of it that are so important that you know who these people are. So you have to go through like that type of editing. It's like, oh, they don't know who this person is, and I'm not going to spend 10 minutes explaining like who my Uncle Frank is. So you
Right.
got to find like the jokes within the stories to keep the stories flowing.
That makes it
So
wild.
they're universal. They're universal, you know.
John, can you do me a favor and tell me about the whole circle experience?
Yeah, I can tell you everything. What do you want to know?
Yeah, okay, so I feel like a lot of times it's made to be seem that it's filmed in US, which is not.
No, not filmed in the US, filmed in Manchester, England, which I was shocked about too.
Right, because
Um,
on the TV show, all you see is Chicago skylines, and the dead giveaway that I realized that it wasn't in the US is that they blur out the electric the plugs. I don't know if you realize
yes.
that,
Yeah, they
which
do.
is so random.
My friend pointed that out to me too. He was like, did you notice all the outlets are blurred?" And I was like, "What?" And I went back and watched it. I was like, "Oh my gosh!" Like they are all blurred out. That's crazy. So it's in Manchester, England, uh, in the like almost middle of nowhere. Like I don't know exactly where it is because when they drive you up to the building, you don't know where you are in general because I've never been to Manchester in the first place. But they like make sure you can't see where you are. So you don't like have the general direction. And then all of a sudden you pull up and like they let you see this building with a giant metal circle on it. And you're like, oh,
Mm.
like daddy's home. Like it's time to
So
go.
are there other people living in that building too, or no?
So this is the weirdest part. Nobody's living in that building, but there is a building directly across the way that is very much a livable apartment building. And you could see like people in their apartment building or like going out on their balconies. And you're like, do they know that there's just a production going on like across the street? And it's like across a parking lot. It's not even like a full street. It's like very much in the same complex, just like actually livable and a TV production.
Well, it's another thing though. I was like, this is not in the US. The apartment seems so much smaller than like an American apartment. And I think I saw one episode where the washing machine was in the kitchen, which is a very UK thing.
Yes. And the other thing that I would point out too that's very UK is the doors are all sliding,
Mm.
like they're on rollers, all of them. Like the bathroom door is a sliding door. Like that's not like I've never really seen an American household that has all of the doors sliding, like maybe
Right.
some for taste, but like that's a very European thing.
What's interesting, did you have a hard time being told what to do at all times? Like you couldn't go outside, you needed to ask permission to go out to the hallway, to go to the terrace. Was that hard for you?
So, yes and no. A lot of it was not being told what to do because from the get go, you know what you can and can't do. So, like, you can't go on your own terrace like that. Those doors don't open, like, they're not accessible to you, and you can't really leave your apartment. So, you just know what you're confined to and that you're going to be on a TV show, and that's pretty much it. Otherwise, like, you don't know what's going to make it in the show. You don't know what you're going to have to do. Like, it all changes on such like a button, like it's so quick and like it's so fast that you don't really have time to be confused or like upset that you have to do something or because there's not much to be upset about. But and the producers I worked with, that were specific to my room were so lovely. Like they didn't make me do anything I didn't want to do. I was never forced to say anything I didn't want to say. It was never like nothing about it was scripted. It was all very much as genuine as you saw me reacting and saying things as it was in the room.
So your strategy, the strategy that you used was all you.
Yes, that was okay, that's a good question. The way I wanted to go in playing myself.
Okay.
And that was the thing that was different was I wanted to go in playing myself and I auditioned playing myself pretty much the whole time. And then like a couple of weeks prior they were like, "But we actually want you to catfish." And I was like, "Oh, okay." And I did not have that plan. So I just blurted out I was like, "I'll be my mom." And they loved that, but I had no strategy. The strategy that I was going to be as myself was the strategy I was just going to take in and just be like, well, my pictures are my mom and I hope this works.
Mm-hmm.
So the strategy was the same, I'd say, but the character was Carol. And I had to get really, really good at texting like a mother. And I think by the time I got there, I was doing all right.
Would you ever do it again?
Yeah. I mean, I would do it again. Like I would do an all-star season of The Circle. Like I would do something like I've said in the past, like I would go back with somebody like whether it's Alyssa or like Brew or somebody that like I was tight with that when we filmed the show and try to catfish our way through the game again. But I wouldn't want to do it against people who are playing the show for the first time. Like I love Trevor to death. He's such a lovely, lovely dude. And he never played the show. But like Delisa had already played and won, and I was like, that's such a leg up on everybody else that he's coming in like being coached by a Hall of Famer essentially. So like I would never want to go against somebody who's doing it for a first time experience, but if it was like to go for an all stars type of season and like everybody has to catfish as like somebody else who previously played the show, I would do that.
I tell you what, how do you get comfortable with the cameras and everything? Like, because I am the type of person, I like to come home and I like to walk around in my goddamn underwear. But apparently you can't do that on the TV show.
No, you can't. But I will tell you, if you do it, you get yelled at, and you got to put clothes on because my circle embarrassing moment was like you're there for so long, like you're there and you're in a room by yourself for so long, and I was so comfortable and like you get so used to these cameras being everywhere. And one morning I got up and I was just gonna go take a shower like I did every morning. But like for some reason that morning I'm exhausted from all the stuff that's going on. And I just like got naked. And the cameras, they were like, what? Ah. Like they were like you my producers were like, what are you doing? I was like, oh my gosh, I was so sorry. And so like you just like you sort of get used to it. Like it's very dystopian, but at the same time, you do feel weird. Like the first couple of days, like even the first minute you walk in, you're like, everywhere I look, there's a camera just like on a turnstile type of situation. And it's like, like to some degree, this moment's going to change your life, but you don't know to what level it will. And you're just trying to live a life experience.
John, that sounds like a lot, but I commend you for doing it.
Thank you.
Do me a favor. You said you were working on a podcast, yes?
Yes, I am.
Tell me about that.
Yeah, so it's called On a Related Note. We filmed 7 pilot, like we did like a mini series, pilot series, like just to get out to show people what it was all about. You know, 7 episodes with some really cool guests. It's me and my cousin Chris, who actually right before I came on this, he asked if I could say out loud that he's a really great guy. So I just have to make sure everybody knows he's a really great guy.
Where's Chris from? Jersey?
Yeah, him and I both from Caldwell, New Jersey. We grew up 4 houses apart from each other. Now we live in Hoboken together.
Do you have a 201 or a 908?
I'm a 973.
Oh, 973. Okay, cool.
Yeah, I'm like I'm Sopranos country 973. You know what I mean? Yeah. Dude, my mom's a 201 though. She likes she toes the line. You know, she goes both directions.
You know, 201 is old school. I have a 732. FYI.
Okay, 732. Yeah, sure. I remember like the first friend I had who got like a 508 number, and I was like, "What is that's disgusting." I was like, get rid of that. Is the ugliest thing I've ever seen. No, so Chris and I, we do Choco on a related note, right? And the whole premise is that it's a game show about the guest. So a guest comes on our podcast. Our job is to get to know them, but their job is there's an overarching theme to the guest that is about them and their life. And through a series of mini games, they try to figure out what that theme is by the end of the episode. It's a game within a game. Tommy Bracco from Big Brother referred to it as an escape room within a podcast. And I think it's like It's really, really cool. People really, really like it. And we're gonna get it going in 2024 and like really hit the ground running. So that's the goal.
When I come back home, I have to be on this podcast. I
Dude,
an escape room podcast.
yes. Whenever you're back in New Jersey, you text me, you let me know, you'll be on the show.
Tell
Without
me
a
what are you,
doubt.
I would love that. Tell me what are you working on next?
Next thing is, keep doing stand-up, keep getting the word out of the podcast. And I'm working on writing a one-man show that is based off of my Fringe Festival from Edinburgh, that set of stand-up. We're hopefully going to put that one out as more of a stand-up special at some point next year. And we're talking about putting a tour together for next fall. So things just keep on changing and they keep on moving. But it's been really, really cool. And every time we do something new, I just count my blessings because you never know when it's going to stop. But at least right now, it keeps going.
Let me tell you, somebody once told me keep doing what you're doing when they think you're hot, because there is going to become a time where they're not going to think you're hot anymore. So keep doing everything.
That's the plan, man. I love that. Like once somebody said to me once, this is not your practice life. And I think that's like my favorite thing. I live by that every day.
This life is more than just a read through.
This life is more than just a read through. Yep, sure. Why not? Why not? I had to take a second there and remember it was a Chili Pepper song, but yes, I love it.
Absolutely. John Franklin, of course, the comedy show, The Specialist, is streaming right now on Prime Video and YouTube. It was a pleasure. Thank you so much for coming on and chatting with us.
Oh, EJ, you're the man, dude. It was so nice to meet a fellow Jersey guy, and I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. You are the best.
Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Woo! That's what I'm talking about.